this year and still save big. Don't risk the rush. Shop Epic Deals now and beat the holiday bustle.
Need some more inspiration? You can easily ask Alexa. Just say, Alexa, give me gift ideas under $50, or Alexa, give me holiday gift ideas. Now, get your gift lists ready and visit Amazon.com/holiday- for more information.
In a suspected letdown to Uber and Lyft, a California appeals court said Thursday that the companies must classify their drivers as employees rather than independent contractors. Dara Hosho-Rahi, CEO of Uber, tells CNN the drivers like the status they have now.
Our drivers are their own CEOs. They're their own bosses. They make their own hours. They decide when they're going to take vacation, when they're not going to take vacation. They do not want to be employees who have to check in, and clock out the traditional way. And they love the control that they have. And if they work hard and they do well, they make more. And they can make the trade-off between earnings and flexibility.
The state argued that by classifying their drivers as contractors, Uber and Lyft deprive those workers of benefits they are entitled to under a new law that took effect January 1st, the law known as Assembly Bill 5 or AB 5. USA Radio News.
Working from home? I'm Chad Dodd, veterinarian and consultant to Limp Bells. Here are some tips for keeping your dog fit while staying at home. Find 15 minutes twice a day and walk your pet at a decent pace around your place. Play hide and seek by hiding some kibble or favorite toys and letting your dog find them. If you have stairs and your dog is mobile, walk up and down twice a day for 5 to 10 minutes. Or better yet, try a power walk on your terrace or backyard for some fresh air. There are more helpful pet care tips at youmove.com, spelled YOUMOVE.com.
The National Football League continues to deal with coronavirus outbreaks on its team as one is forced to quarantine an entire unit. USA Radio News' Dan Naraki has more.
Another NFL game is in jeopardy after a team's entire offensive line is placed on the COVID reserve list. The Las Vegas Raiders placed 4 starting offensive linemen on the COVID-19 list Thursday after they were deemed high-risk contacts. Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson, Denzel Good, and Colton Miller joined fellow starter Trent Brown in quarantine on Thursday and missed their second straight day of practice. According to the NFL's contact protocols, they could potentially be cleared to return on Sunday with a negative test. The league says it's still planning on the Raiders playing their scheduled game against Tampa Bay. However, they moved it out of the Sunday night primetime slot, replacing it with Seattle versus Arizona.
Remdesivir has become the first and only drug to be approved by the Food and Drug Administration for treatment of the coronavirus. Drug maker Gilead announced on Thursday. Gilead CEO Daniel O'Day says, "It's incredible to be in the position today, less than 1 year since the earliest case reports of the disease known as COVID-19, of having an FDA-approved treatment in the United States that is available for all appropriate patients in need." NASCAR hits the pavement Sunday. The Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 500 starts at 3:30 Eastern, televised nationwide on NBC SN. For USA Radio News, I'm Lance Pry.
Annie, are you there? We're trying to get her on the air. Annie, talk to me.
I'm here.
Oh, I don't hear her on the air. Talk to me louder.
I don't hear you.
There you are. Okay. Somebody's trying to call me on the wrong line. That's why we're getting that noise. There we go. Okay, Annie, sorry about that.
All right.
Somebody trying to call on the other line, and I can't blend you when they're calling on the other line. Oh, there we go. Now she's calling me on the right line, so it must be Andy. Ann, are you there? Go ahead, Andy. Go ahead, talk. Okay, now we should have both of you people there. Andy.
We do. I'm here.
There you go. Go ahead. Talk to you, Tutu.
All right, now, wait. When are you going to get it started?
Oh, you're talking on the air live right now, both of you. Go ahead.
Oh, all right, Andy. Okay. Well, first and foremost, welcome to the Conservative Watch Hour on beautiful Friday. And Ms. Delgado, I'm co-host and SteelTooth.com. Ann, how are you this morning?
Annie, I am fantastic. It's a beautiful MAGA Friday, and hot off a great debate where President Trump stepped into the octagon and slayed the Chinese dragon.
It was unreal.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. You know, President Trump just really laid it out there. And I can tell you that when I see how Joe Biden's response, lies after lies after lies, I just wish that this debate would have happened earlier before people started voting.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, there was a reason why they did what they did, right? Joe Biden Joe Biden wanted to do a virtual debate. President Trump has said, no, that's stupid. It was all by design, and the FBI sitting on the contents of those laptops that Hunter Biden dropped off at the repair shop over a year ago, and the FBI has been sitting on them for almost a year now, doing nothing. Christopher Wray should be dismissed from his job. In fact, the line people at the FBI that know about this, that don't want to lose their pensions that taxpayers fund, have no moral compass as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this is egregious. These are crimes against children on that laptop. This is pure, it's irrefutable evidence that Joe Biden is in bed with the Communist Chinese Party, and that's who would be running America if we have a Joe Biden presidency. So kiss your freedom goodbye. Look how much they censor and slaughter their people in China, including organ harvesting. They allow them, they don't care about their health and welfare over there. And millions of them starve every year. This is who Joe Biden surrounds himself with to enrich his family and would let them walk all over us and set and dictate policy here in this country. Startling revelation.
Well, indeed it is. Even more disturbing, Ann, in addition to the child trafficking, what they're doing to these children, look at what they're doing, and it's happening in our country. Okay, right here, through Planned Parenthood, as they're harvesting organs from the abortions. So they're doing it here as well. When you look at who funds these candidates, Planned Parenthood, 100% of their donations, which I don't understand that, go to these Democrat candidates, and especially Kamala. She's had quite a bit to do with Planned Parenthood on their top level. And the monies that have gone into her coffers. But when you think about that, because, the one thing with politics, it's always the same rule. You have to follow the money.
That's right.
Who exactly is doing this. But with the FBI, here's what I say. The FBI is the new mafia.
Oh, yeah.
Now, not all of them. But when you have these people that sat on that information knowing that children are in danger and did nothing about it, this is the new mafia. Because the mafia, I give mafia the credit. I give mafia credit, quite frankly. They never hurt the kids. They never hurt the women and children.
Nope.
They had a beef with something, they went after and took care of them.
That's right. They protected women and children. They actually value human life. And the mafia polices itself. Here we have government corruption that's not only systemic in the United States, but now it spans global partnerships and government corruption. This is true RICO, and racketeered influence corrupt organization. And I can't think of a better person to be in the middle of this, exposing all this, than the mayor, Rudy Giuliani, who took down 5 mafia crime families in the 80s. He knows RICO. He built RICO. This is the man who is delivering this information, and he has put the Delaware Attorney General, in a very difficult, and the Pennsylvania Attorney General, where these kids are from that were seen on this Biden laptop, in a very difficult position because they know what they need to do. These are crimes against children, and they're doing nothing. The FBI is doing nothing, and they're protecting the previous administration.
Yeah, that is the most disturbing part of this, is that they've known this, and they let it continue to go on. You see, every single child, when we get, and this will all come out and it will be exposed in the name of Jesus Christ. I call it and I claim it. Lord, expose them and cast them out. And when he does, these people, all the parents that have missing children, they never found their kids again.
No.
And we know where they are. We know where they are now, don't we? Each and every one of them, hang them in a courtyard, straight out in the public.
Well, that begs the question, right? Because we're looking at law enforcement, the nation's top cops at the FBI, who've known about this for a year, done nothing. We now recognize James Comey was corrupt. Ray came from Comey. Are we going to be able to prosecute these corrupt government criminals in the Department of Justice and the FBI? I mean, obviously, A.G. Barr has had the indictments. Durham has had the indictments, but they're not moving forward. So does this mean we're going to circumvent the traditional justice system and look at these traitorous, treasonous bastards in the United States military court and court-martial these people for treason?
That's exactly what needs to happen.
It has to happen, Annie. I don't see any way around it. I don't see how we prosecute these people in the traditional court of law anymore because we don't have a court of law. Rudy Giuliani is flabbergasted that the Federal Bureau of Investigations hasn't done anything with this evidence. This is egregious evidence, and they're only scratching the surface with what they've seen on the laptop. They are not revealing everything yet, Annie, because the American public, I don't think, is prepared to hear what's on that laptop. The pictures alone enough are disturbing with Hunter Biden in a crack pipe. But when you see text messages of Hunter Biden to his father saying, I'm a danger to the kids, and his father doesn't respond with, oh, my gosh, Hunter, I'm so sorry. Yes, we've got to get you help. We have to protect the children. One of those children is Joe Biden's granddaughter, a 14-year-old girl who's Hunter's niece that he's parading around naked in front of and smoking crack on a FaceTime call. Hunter's admitting he has a problem, and his father isn't doing anything, isn't stopping to get help for this kid. That's just, this tells you what Joe Biden is about. He's about money and power above his own family. He uses Hunter. He pimps him out to go out and be the face and the name on these corrupt business deals. And then Hunter pays Big Pops, which is Joe Biden, 50% of what Hunter takes in. And he's taken it in because his name is Biden. In Hunter's own words.
It's so disgraceful. It's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. But I'll tell you, it's more discouraging about the FBI. But what we're going to do right now, Miss Sam, we're going to take a quick commercial break and for our radio station here, and then we'll be right back and talk more about that.
When it really counts, depend on The Source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be very cloudy with a thunderstorm in parts of the area in the afternoon. High today 84 to 88. Partly cloudy tonight, low 70 to 74. Then Saturday we'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine with a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon and a high of 84 to 86. Pleasantly warm on Sunday, periods of clouds and sunshine and a high of 85 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. And I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever.
Right now, MyPillow has a special offer for you. 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. Each pillow is made in the USA and is machine washable and dryable. Call 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code Annie to get 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. That's 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com, promo code Annie.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Promo code Annie.
And we're back with some more Conservative Watch Hour.
Welcome back. Welcome back on this Mega Friday. Well, Miss Ann, I can tell you that as disturbing as it is with all of this information, that gentleman that spoke last night, Tony Bobolowski, I can't remember his last name.
Bobulinski?
And he talked Bobulinski, there you go. He spoke about all the information he has, including the 3 phones that I guess now he's turned over, that have the evidence of this, and that the FBI is not doing anything. I mean, they should be in handcuffs immediately. But that being said, I think that, when we look at the overall picture, having a lot of law enforcement in my family and knowing that, they have to make sure that they got this case sealed tight. Well, when they do put out the indictments and arrest these people, there's no chance of them ever, claiming any kind of, technicality or something like that they can get off on. So I understand why it would take a little bit of time. Certainly, we as, the general public were like astonished about this and just in shock. Like, why aren't they in jail? Well, it takes time to really put a case together. And they must put the case and all the facts together so that it stands in the court of law and that they can't get away by some kind of technicality. So with that being said, though, most importantly is the fact that Mr. Trump did absolutely fantastic and was able to bring out a lot of the key points that he made. And certainly the one thing that confused me with Biden, again, is when he said that we have a good relationship with Hitler. I'm like, what is he talking about? Did you hear him say that?
I did. I was expecting him to do Zeke Heil and throw his, hand into the air, salute the fascist Hitler. This is, but again, you have to look at the actions of these people. Don't listen to what they say. Look at what they do. Back in Ukraine, Vice President Biden installed Poroshenko as the president. They ran out the previous president, installed Poroshenko, who is a neo-Nazi, who ran brown-shirted troops around Ukraine. It was so bad that the citizens of Ukraine were begging Putin to do something. Mother Russia, save us from this madman. And that's why they were able to get rid of the prosecutor. And that was where the $1 billion U.S. aid package went into Ukraine and then disappeared. Poof, gone. They stole taxpayer money, and they covered up the crimes of Burisma and Hunter Biden, all to enrich the Biden crime family. It's really just it's just so unbelievable. I don't even know if America can honestly digest this fire hose of news over the next couple of weeks before they go to the ballot box. But Annie, if they don't, at least on a fundamental level, something that's nonpartisan, look at the children, look at what Hunter was doing. And this is who Joe Biden is pushing out there to steal billions of dollars from Americans around the world with these deals that he's doing and enriching their family because they have the position in office. True pay for play. If they can't get on the same page about the kids, then I think America is lost. I mean, the children are our future. They're our most precious asset. We need to teach them responsibility of being a good steward as a human being. Forget America. Let's just be decent human beings. And you don't act the way Hunter Biden has acted with the youth. You don't do that. And you don't do the pedophile behavior that the Democrats have been doing, and Republicans. This is the establishment that is being covered up here and protected. And what we're learning now is the scope of the pedophilia that has been covered up in the United States government. They have turned into the most massive criminal organization on the planet, in concert with other governments around the world. It's about trafficking.
That's right. And you're so right on the money when you say, it's not just the Democrats. It exists in the Republican circles as well. One of them that comes to mind to me, which I was absolutely blown away, we have a congressional district in the state of Florida, Congressional District 21, that a woman named Laura Loomer is running in. And her opening, she had an event, and she had a guy named Milo, his last name is, that's it. He had him open, and I, this is so disturbing. Where he actually stated that he's for same-sex and pedophilia for children, and that he thanked his priest for showing him how to give oral sex to men. This is sick. These are sick individuals, and that's the one example that I can use that I know of personally happening on the Republican side. And I can tell you that there were 6 candidates in that race, and not one Republican candidate has endorsed or is voting for Laura Loomer. All of them have turned their back because this is not what the Republican Party platform represents, what we represent or endorse one bit whatsoever. When you have people pushing out there on the microphone on her opening statement how they're into pedophilia with children, and that they're thanking their priest for showing them how to give oral sex to men. That's sick. And so this has to go away and has to be taken care of on all sides.
Agree.
Both sides.
Wow,
for sure.
I didn't know that, Annie. That's shocking.
It was.
Is that on video anywhere? That's shocking.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. And the Palm Beach Post printed it. Exactly what he said. And that's exactly what he said. And this just shows you that it's worldwide. It's not just a political party, as in Democrats or Republicans. It's worldwide. And this kind of deep state that's been happening, not just across this nation, but other nations as well. And that's what Mr. Trump has been fighting all along. He knows how bad this situation is.
Wow. Well, I mean, you couple that with, the breaking news, and it's really not that breaking because anybody, if you go and look for it, can find it. But Chuck Schumer, that sleazeball senator from New York, received thousands of dollars in donations from the late convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. And it's, you really have to question people that take money from people like that. I know money is green, but where is your moral compass when you will actually interface and entertain taking donations from somebody? You don't think this person has an agenda?
Well, of course, but they have their own agenda as well. I mean, they're fully aware, but they know, all of them know, they knew what was going on with Epstein. They were on that island, and they were doing what they were doing because they wanted that. This is what they do. They like having sex with little children. And this is so bad.
So
I mean, it goes on it's disgusting. It's so disgusting. It's so horrifying. And the thing is that it's in our public school systems as well. When you have, the educational systems teaching little children, I'm talking kindergarten, about, being a boy instead of a girl or anal sex. And then by the time they're in, 12 years old, they're teaching them to touch each other. And this is happening in our school system. I want to give a shout out to a very incredible, courageous woman named Bev Kilmer. Bev Kilmer has headed up and is working with the foundation to go county by county to take this curriculum out of our school systems. And she's doing a fantastic job. She's doing a fantastic job. We have a wonderful board put together with that. But again, here we are in the state of Florida. And, we have a Republican-controlled House, Republican-controlled Senate, Republican governor, and a Republican Supreme Court, for God's sake. And then, conservative, I'll say. And then we have the Richard Cochran, which really just blows me away, head of the education. Why are you not stopping this, Mr. Cochran? Why are you allowing this to go on in our school systems? And he knows exactly what's going on. So that's why I say it's not just Democrats doing this.
No, it's not. And unfortunately, when we were talking about this on Seal Truth 3 years ago, we were attacked by David Brock's Media Matters, George Soros's Daily Beast, and Right Wing Watch, and any other publication that they were funding. We were called conspiracy theorists. We were mocked. We had a lot of massive attacks. And if you Googled my name 3 years ago, that's all you saw. But now it's all coming out, and of course the mainstream media is nowhere to be reporting on this. I give Steve Bannon a shout out on Pandemic's War Room with Raheem Kassan. They have been doing a great job pumping this information out, and their show is exploding right now because they have a platform and they're pushing it. It's good to be them because they've got, great resources, and they've done an incredible job. In fact, Matthew Tiermans, who broke a lot of this story, is going to be on my show next week. And I think it's on Tuesday we have him scheduled to do the interview. And I know Matthew from my days at James O'Keefe. He's a big supporter of what James O'Keefe does over at Project Veritas. So I have to say, the work that these journalists have done to break this is just massive. And I mean, it's, I'm doing my little part over here with the Fast and Furious story, Annie, that was never given any justice to the people who suffered through all that. And again, it just paints a story of global government corruption, enterprise level global government corruption, where we're trafficking weapons, people, drugs, and money, laundering money. And the beat goes on. The people that have been involved in this are the same people we talk about over and over and over again. It's like a broken record. And I really pray, Annie, that, we skip the DOJ and go straight to the tribunals after the election. That's got to be what we do.
From your mouth to God's ears, young lady, from your mouth to God's ears, because that's what needs to happen. And we obviously we see the level of corruption and how high that level of corruption goes to the top ranks, or the seventh floor, I'll say. And so that being said, there's many. Oh, what is that? Sorry. There's many avenues that can be taken. But I do believe that between, as I said, the Democrats and Republicans, it's not just a Democrat-Republican issue. It is a world issue because this is happening worldwide, but they're in collusion with them. There's greed that sets in and has set in when you have people for decades. That's why term limits are so vitally important. In those seats where, you can have as many candidates as you can to try and take them out. But it is a system that they have, and it's all about the money machine. The whole money machine that they have going on that makes it impossible for a candidate to take these people out. And it's funny because here, I don't get much crap at all from Democrats. I'm getting it from Republicans, but I call them, of course, fake Republicans. As you know very well, I call myself a Trumplican. And
that's right.
I do that for a reason. I do that for a reason because at the end of the day, after this, we'll see what the results are after this election. And we need to completely revamp this Republican Party, not only in the state of Florida, but across the United States because it's infiltrated. And a lot of that infiltration has to do with homosexuality, etc. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump, during last night's second and last presidential debate, accuses Joe Biden and his family of corrupt dealings in other countries.
Russia, Ukraine, China, other countries, Iraq. If this is true, then he's a corrupt politician. So don't give me the stuff about how you're this innocent baby.
Biden says about his son Hunter's work with the Ukrainian energy company and President Trump's impeachment over asking Ukraine's president to announce an investigation into it.
Every single solitary person when he was going through his impeachment, testifying under oath who worked for him, said, I did my job impeccably. I carried out U.S. policy.
He gives a speech today about plans to deal with the coronavirus pandemic if he's elected. President Trump holds 2 rallies in Florida and plans to take part in early voting tomorrow in West Palm Beach, Florida, his legal residence. America's listening to Fox News.
Wouldn't it be great if everything came with more? Like if your new computer came with unlimited tech support. When you choose a Medicare plan from United Healthcare, you get more. Like plans that have dental and vision coverage, plus hearing coverage. Call United Healthcare at 1-800-364-1360 to get Medicare with more. Remember, Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th.
Benefits and availability may vary by plan and location. More plans based on a year-over-year comparison of United Healthcare plans. Walgreens has always been there to help make your healthcare easier. From making sure you have the prescriptions you need to answering any questions you have about them. Now, the question is whether you have the right Medicare plan. And we're here to help make that easier too. Walgreens can save you money and peace of mind with copays as low as $0. Visit walgreens.com/Medicare today to see how. Walgreens. We make Medicare easy. $0 copay on Tier 1 generic drugs when enrolled in a plan with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy.
When it really counts, depend on The Source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be very cloudy with a thunderstorm in parts of the area in the afternoon. High today 84 to 88. Partly cloudy tonight, low 70 to 74. Then Saturday we'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine with a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon and a high of 84 to 86. Pleasantly warm on Sunday, periods of clouds and sunshine and a high of 85 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow. And like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat. I would flip-flop all night long. I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed. It's about how much of that quality sleep we get. And I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever.
Right now, MyPillow has a special offer for you. 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. Each pillow is made in the USA and is machine washable and dryable. Call 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code Annie to get 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. That's 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com, promo code Annie.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Promo code Annie.
And welcome back to the Conservative Watch Hour. This is Annie Marie Delgado here with my co-host Ann Vanderfield of SteelTruth.com. So, Ms. Ann, we were talking about some of the stuff that is going on between, the fake Republicans as well and what they do in these different states. I know that we see this. My colleagues that reach out to me, like from Texas and Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, they have the same, and many other states, quite frankly, the same frustrations. But I think that the time is coming when the people are going to take their party back. Not taking our country back. We're trying to do that, but we need to take our party back, too.
Annie, you know what? It boils down to this. America has been given a massive disservice in our education system. We have been dumbed down. Civics has been thrown out of the classroom, and people don't understand that Americans have a civic duty to their country to not only defend her, but to make sure that they're holding their public servants accountable. President Trump is a true public servant. He's not even taking a salary to do this job. And look at the slings and arrows and disinformation and just wrap-up smears that he's been fighting his entire presidency in order to deliver jobs. And, these people knew the pandemic was coming. They planned it. As there's so much evidence to prove they planned this coronavirus pandemic and have leveraged it to try and take him out, and he's leveraged it right back to help America to the best he can and take the Federal Reserve back. But there's just so much that Americans don't understand about any of this, and it starts with civics. We need to be stewards of our country. We need to act like patriots. If you don't want to be here, then get out. You can leave. Nobody's holding you here. And I'm sick of these Hollywood, idiots talking about they're going to leave the country if Trump is reelected. Well, then freaking leave already. Just go. We don't want you here anyway. Hollywood's dead. You have destroyed it. Your sick predilections that comes with your debased lifestyle coming out of Hollywood has been exposed and is continuing to be exposed. And the people that you would like to run around with, like the Joe Bidens of the world, are now showing it and exposing it on steroids thanks to the depravity of Hunter Biden, and by his own words, by his own admission in his text messages to his father. So Americans need to get Americans need to get up, wake up, realize the federal government does not owe them a living.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not a long read. It's a simple pamphlet. And get educated here. This is where we are. And we are actually asleep at the wheel, Annie. And I'm telling Americans, do your civic duty, read the Constitution, and know who your public servants are that you're electing into office. Do a little homework. It's all out there on the Internet. It's not hard.
Exactly. Well, you know, the one thing that Trump Team 2020 Florida does is we do provide that information, you know, because we work all across the state of Florida. And thank God, I always want to give a great shout out to the thousands and thousands and thousands of members and volunteers that we have across this state that have been able to do the voter registration work that's needed to get out the message, tell everyone to be a super VIP and vote in person. You know, we have tremendous numbers in the last couple of days of early voting where the Republicans are outdoing the Democrats. So we have to make sure that we continue that. And it's vitally important for people to know within their own prospective communities, their counties, who's running for these judge seats. That's always an area where most people have no idea who to vote for. I get those calls all the time. But we have amendments that are on our ballot in the state of Florida for November the 3rd, that it's important that people know how to vote for those amendments as well, because they can help us or they can harm us tremendously. So with that being said, I just want to talk about those amendments for a minute, Ann, because
please do.
Yes, for our listening audience, because like I said, many times they're not quite sure what to do. And I can tell you that we have, put my glasses on here, Amendment number 3, which is so very important because that's where they want to try and make it open primaries for us. Currently, the way we have it in the state of Florida, we have closed primaries where Democrats vote for Democrats and Republicans vote for Republicans. So we want to make sure that everyone votes no on constitutional amendment number 3. Because if that's the case, it would be harmful for the integrity, just the pure integrity of the election system, as where people should be voting for their own parties. And then you've got Constitution, the amendment number 4. That's a yes. Amendment number 5, that's a yes. Amendment number 6, that's a yes. So people need to absolutely make sure that they understand and take the time to read what exactly these amendments mean. But the number 3 is truly a very harmful one. Number 1, we say yes to. Number 2 is a no, and number 3 is a no. And I just gave you the others. If anyone wants to ask me any questions, if you have any questions about it, after you do your research, you can always reach me at 561-779-3535. I'd be happy to help you with that. I was talking to some folks because we have some really great things coming up here in Marion County. In Fort McCoy tomorrow, we have a huge, wonderful event going on. We have tremendous speakers and good patriots getting together. We have, I think, over 1,000 people already attending in Fort McCoy. And again, for further information, you can reach me at 561-779-3535. But we've got some magnificent people that are out there. And when I talk to the organizers up there in Fort McCoy, it is so sad to see that they have zero representation. And that's called taxation without representation. They have no sheriff presence. They have no mayor, no county commission, no House rep, no congressperson that ever goes up into those areas. And they're rural areas, but they need attention too, because that's where we're seeing that there's a tremendous amount of growth of this meth stuff that's going on. I'm not quite sure how that works. I don't know if they smoke meth or they shoot meth or whatever, but it's something that's taken a hold of that community in those areas. And the people are just crying out. There's no one there to help them. So we got together and we said, okay, we're going to bring some attention to this area. Well, we've got thousands of people that's already committed to be there. The chairman for Marion County Republican Party, Rocky Stacey, will certainly be there. And we're hoping that the sheriff will make a presence, and he should, He should, because the county commissioner that's there is no longer running, and they haven't seen him in years. In years. I was astonished to hear all this, sadly, how they're not being paid attention to, but the people are rising up, and that's the beautiful part about it. So with a little bit of leadership and a little bit of people getting together, we'll make a difference in these communities, and that's what has to happen all over the country, because it's not the leadership of any party that's doing this, and they're doing nothing, quite frankly, as we already know and we have seen. So once again, I want to thank Michelle and George Rainey. They're wonderful people. Ron Adams and Tracy and these different wonderful people that are getting together and saying, we're going to take our communities back, and we're going to hold your feet to the fire if you don't pay attention to what's going on in our communities. And that has to happen everywhere.
I agree, Annie, and that's what we're talking about. It's the fact that Americans have gotten fat, dumb, and happy, mostly because government has grown to a burgeoning behemoth. But we also became very successful after World War II. I mean, we made a lot of money during the war, and it kicked this country off. We had a president that took us to the moon, and then when he realized that the CIA was corrupt, they took him out. And it's been a battle ever since. They've kept Americans wealthy just enough so they didn't feel that they needed to combat the growth of the federal government. And then they used endless wars to continue to keep us beholden to having to pay these ridiculous high federal taxes, because we owed so much money to the Federal Reserve for borrowing money to fight these endless wars and pay these military-industrial complex millions and trillions of dollars a year. I mean, look at the amount of money we spent since 2001 in Afghanistan. We're talking over $8 trillion in Afghanistan alone since 2001. This is where our tax dollars are going, and do we even need to be there? We are now, the Benghazi bombshell that got lobbed last week, where we learned that Osama bin Laden was hidden in Iran since 2010, when he was uncovered at Bora Bora, and they called off the kill shot. They didn't take it. That's a real problem, Annie. This is the state of America. We're harboring terrorists by our own government's admission, so that they can continue to fight endless wars and run the money through the military-industrial complex and lobbyists and everybody is getting paid off. And the American taxpayer is bearing the financial burden of that, in addition to our men and women in the military who are being put into harm's way to fight these so-called terrorists, looking for ghosts in Afghanistan that never existed, because that ghost was in Iran. And then we pay $152 billion in pallets of cash to Iran for a nuclear deal to silence them so they don't expose our government for harboring Osama bin Laden there. It's all graft and corruption, and it goes around and comes around, and it's at the expense of the American taxpayer. President Trump is standing up to that BS in a big way, and he's calling him out. And it's, citizen journalists that are exposing this. It's not coming from the mainstream media. You're not hearing any of this on the mainstream media. Thank God for Joe and WOCA to give us a platform to talk about it with the listeners in North Florida. But, I talk about this all the time on Steel Truth, and we are exposing, because if we don't, the American electoring public doesn't know that Joe Biden is a pedophile. His son is a pedophile. They support that lifestyle. They support endless wars at the taxpayer expense. And President Trump is doing this, doesn't even take a salary. He's donating it. It's just, he's fighting the corruption at a global level. It's incredible.
It is incredible, but I'll tell you what, in order for us to stay here on WOCA 96.3 and 1370 AM, we're going to take a quick commercial break from our sponsor, and we'll be right back.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be very cloudy with a thunderstorm in parts of the area in the afternoon. High today 84 to 88. Partly cloudy tonight, low 70 to 74. Then Saturday we'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine with a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon and a high of 84 to 86. Pleasantly warm on Sunday, periods of clouds and sunshine and a high of 85 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. And I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever.
Right now, MyPillow has a special offer for you. 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. Each pillow is made in the USA and is machine washable and dryable. Call 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code Annie to get 2 MyPillow premiums for one low price plus free shipping. That's 800-820-7056 or go to MyPillow.com, promo code Annie.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Promo code Annie.
And welcome back to the Conservative Watch Hour here on this Mega Friday. My name is Annie Marie Delgado, here with my co-host Ann Vandersdale with SteelTruth.com. So, Miss Ann, as I was talking about, you know, we could go on with this Biden stuff, but it's so despicable. But we are doing a good service as conservative journalists, and this is how we get the message out. And because the mainstream media, of course, is not putting this out, and they're not going to. They're going to do everything they can to bury it. Of course. And we'll continue to get the good word out. But I just wanted to give a shout out to our listening audience for this event that's happening tomorrow, October the 24th. It starts at 3 o'clock. They have like 4 different bands and food and all the trucks and cars decorated with their flags. And I also have, that's going to be at the, that's going to be at the ball field on Highway 316 in Fort McCoy. You can't miss it. And we also have all of our golf carts going out. And, you know, when we do that in the villages, we usually get a minimum of 1,000. So that's happening tomorrow. We've got all kinds of exciting things happening around the state as we come up to our final week for our election. So I just want to ask everyone to get out there and vote early and vote in person. It's so very important that your vote counts, and that's one way that you can ensure that it really does count is when you vote in person. Now, I've checked around. And the lines aren't that, you know, they're moving quickly, I will say that. The lines were longer the first couple of days. So do get out there, folks, and vote in person. Be a super VIP, because we need you, and we need all the votes to get in there and count. And certainly we know that we can rely and rest assured that a vote did count when we go and do it in person. So I just want to remind folks about that rally, the Trump rally tomorrow, October the 24th, starting at 3 o'clock at the ball field at 414051 East Highway 316 in Fort McCoy. I'll be out there. We're going to have bands, food, all kinds of fun, raffles. We've got tremendous raffle items and all kinds of good stuff.
Oh, Annie, that sounds so great. I wish I could join you. I really do. I'm out here in the West in Las Vegas. I've been in Phoenix. We've been shooting this Fast and Furious documentary. We've got another series of episodes tonight on Fast and Furious. We ran a 2-hour show covering the debate last night. We live streamed and live commentated. It was great. Had a great audience on with us. We had a good time. And we're bringing the heat, and we're bringing victims that the DOJ won't even take a look at because they know that what the previous administration did was completely corrupt, and they know those same people are still running around there, the holdovers in the DOJ. And so we're bringing it to the public. We're bringing it to the president, we're bringing it to the world, and we're giving people a voice that has been basically overlooked and buried by our own government. They were used and framed by our own federal government so they could sell weapons to the cartels and the terrorists worldwide. And guess what, Annie? They're still doing it today. And we're going to bring you all that in the continuation on Fast and Furious Week on Steel Truth with a 2-hour special on Monday night, tying it all together. And boy, do we have a bombshell coming Monday night. Massive.
Give me some more information on that, Ann. How can people watch this incredible documentary you have coming out?
Absolutely. We're on the Global Financial Wealth Network on your smart TV that goes into 70 million homes. So if you get on your smart TV and download the Global Financial Wealth channel, you can watch us live there Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And we're also on YouTube on our Steel Truth channel. You have to type in the full words Steel and Truth before YouTube will actually show my channel. I'm so heavily censored on YouTube. That's, it is what it is, but that's the age in which we live in. Facebook sometimes lets me live stream on there, but you can also find me on periscope.tv at The Steel Truth on Periscope. So if you're looking for live streaming platforms, Global Financial Wealth Network or GFWN.tv and Periscope.tv and YouTube, Steel Truth. So that's where you can find me.
They can always
and
go
my
to your
website.
Facebook page. That's right. And your
That's
website.
right. My Facebook page and website, steeltruth.com, and my Facebook page, Steel Truth. It's all there, and we'll have links to the shows. When we go live, we post those links, so you can always go there and jump on there. If you can't watch it on Facebook, we have the YouTube link there.
Exactly. And
you can follow me on Twitter at Ann Vandersteel. At Ann Vandersteel on Twitter. I put a lot of content out regularly, and we have fun. We have a good time on Twitter. Highly engaged audience.
The one thing, of course, that we all know is that, and quite frankly, I have so many chapters and so many pages, and Facebook has just suppressed us so badly within the last couple of weeks, more so than ever, where they don't want us to get the message out. And I can't wait for the day to see them get what's coming to them. And I'm glad that they're filing the antitrust lawsuit against them. These people, for the monopoly that they have, and how they're suppressing conservative messages. I mean, they were even doing it to the president for sake.
I know. The president has 85 million followers and gets 100,000 likes. Come on. It's a joke.
Yeah.
His ratio, he's getting what they call that ratio. They call that ratioing it. When you're being ratioed, means that your ratio of likes to your total subscriber account is less than mine. And that's not possible. Who's more popular than the president? Nobody. So, they're just ratioing his Twitter feed. And I'm sure he has far more likes than that, but they just turn them off. I find my retweets of the president and my likes of the president reversed all the time. I have to go back in and retweet and re-like things because they unlike it for me. They unfollow. I've been unfollowed. I've actually found my account has unfollowed the president. Why would I ever do that? He's a news source, a big one.
Yes, indeed. And it's funny. I finally figured that out. I started saying and looking and seeing and saying, okay, what's happening? Usually everything I put out, I get thousands and thousands and thousands of likes and on. And all of a sudden I'm down to hundreds and hundreds. And I'm like, what's making that difference? Well, they're making that difference. They're doing that. And you're right.
That's exactly right.
There's even posts that I posted, and it says that it was taken down by the owner. I am the owner, and I didn't take it down. It's Facebook doing this. And,
that's right.
And the monopoly that they have on doing this. So that's why it's so vitally important for conservative watch hour and conservative journalists like ourselves, put the message out there. And
work together.
And work together to get this out. Share the information. Go onto our site and share the information as much as we possibly can, because that's the only way we're going to get the message out.
That's right, Annie. That's exactly right. We have to work together. We don't have a network that is big like the mainstream media, but we do have a lot of us, and we're all very intelligent. We're informed, and it's incumbent upon us to not be so competitive with one another, but to really, at this time, link arms with our fellow patriot journalists and work together and use each other's platforms, because the bigger platforms are heavily censored. The smaller ones aren't. So the big guys should be working with the little guys because they can get more mileage from support from the little guy than they can by going to another big guy. And this is what.
Yes.
That are small get more retweets and are not censored the way the big ones are. So you should be wanting to work with the little guys to get your message out. It's that simple. And as a true patriot, like I said, it's incumbent on us to do our civic duty. And many of us work for next to nothing because we believe in this country. And this is my civic duty, Annie. This is my civic duty. I'm giving
Same
back.
here.
We're going to make sure we get the president reelected. That's critical right now. It's absolutely critical so that we stop the madness and we get our country back and we re-educate our kids.
It certainly is. That's why I'm always so very proud of Trump Team 2024, because every single one of our chapters, every one of us are volunteering. We're not getting paid.
Right.
One red cent. And we are working so hard to ensure the reelection and the victory of our president and our country. But that's why I emphasize the fact of that at the end of the day, we need to take our party back, because they're literally pushing out grassroots organizations that make them look bad, because we're actually doing something. They're doing nothing. And of course, they have all the money. And at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself again, follow the money. What are they doing with all the money? They're not putting it out here because it's people volunteering and making sure that this president gets elected, not those folks that are being paid for it. So, we'll leave that in the hands of the Lord, because he will handle it, and we will after the election, that's for sure.
That's right. So, Annie, what else do you have going on this weekend?
Well, we have, like I said, that wonderful big rally up in Fort McCoy at the ball field there. We have all the golf carts going out of the villages. We've got events happening in Jacksonville, Pensacola. Pensacola is just on fire right now. And certainly the president will be there tonight after the villages. Then he goes over to Pensacola. And those folks, our chapter in Pensacola they're just such hard workers. And again, I have to remind folks, these are all volunteers. We all do this because we want to have a better country for our children and our grandchildren. We want to save America. We're fighting for her alongside of our president and outside of any party. And that's why we're completely different, because we're not affiliated with the Republican Party of Florida. We chose to not be affiliated with them because we have Democrats, independents that our doors are open to. And there's plenty of Democrats that are conservative, fiscally conservative Democrats that are voting for the president. So we welcome them. And that's the difference. That's the difference. And of course, we've got thousands of trucks and cars down in Miami. So like I said, we're all over the state. Tampa, we've got things happening all weekend. And every single Friday, we've got flag waving going on across this whole state. Literally, from so many different counties. Now in Citrus County, a big shout out to Billy Casey and Melanie, what they're doing out there with the choo-choo train they built as well. And they have done the most voter registration in the state of Florida right out of Citrus County. Unbelievable. Beautiful people, and that's what we need. Well, Ann, we're coming up to the end of our show today. I just want to thank you once again, young lady. You keep up the great work. And
you too, young lady.
Thank you. And you can reach Ann Vandersteel, SteelTruth.com. If anyone wants any information of where they should be going to vote, and I ask you to please vote in person, you can call me at 561-779-3535. With that, I wish you all a blessed weekend.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Hunter Biden's ex-business associate, Cody Bobulinski, accused Democratic nominee Joe Biden of lying about his involvement in his family's overseas dealings. He made the claim 90 minutes before Thursday's presidential debate.
I've heard Joe Biden say that he's never discussed business with Hunter. That is false. I have firsthand knowledge about this because I directly dealt with the Biden family, including Joe Biden.
The U.S. Navy veteran said he was introduced to Joe Biden on May 2, 2017 by Hunter Biden and the lawmaker's brother Jim Biden. President Donald Trump used the drug when he was diagnosed with COVID-19 and recovered rather quickly. As mortality rates over COVID-19 continue to dissipate in America, the FDA has approved the antiviral remdesivir. Gilead, the drug maker, said the FDA approval was based on data that showed the drug cut high